Uh, this is gonna be a bit about the Mario Galaxy movie rant. If you keep up with my page, I told you when I was president of these people, I wasted a lot of my time um, doing just putting ideas I had out there, and one of them was Nintendo Land, and wanted Nintendo to pair up with Hot Wheels and make Hot Wheels cars and do Lego sets and a whole bunch of things. I wanted them to kind of expand outward. A lot of corporations, American businesses were really against it. They really didn't want to work with Nintendo. But I kind of viewed Mario like the Mickey Mouse of video games. Um, but the Mario Galaxy movie that came out, I remember more about talking to Shigeru Miyamoto about the first Mario movie that came out earlier this year. The second movie, I believe, comes off as a bunch of disjointed ideas because I literally just kind of spitballed and told him the second movie needed to be atmospheric and needed to rapidly expand the universe. And because it was for kids, it needed to be action oriented. There always needed to be something happening on screen. Um, the movie itself is disjointed, but it comes off. But honestly, I think that's a good thing because it's different than normal movies. Uh, and honestly, everything in theaters, the movie's probably the most entertaining movie in theaters. And secondly, I saw this TikToker that was like, "Why? What's with Rotten Tomatoes and just giving everything horrible reviews? They did it with Jurassic Park Rebirth. They did it with the Barbie movie, where they gave it horrible reviews and then later changing those reviews to 80 and 90%." Uh, the response to that is girl boss movies. Uh, when I was president of these people, I wondered why women were always viewed as like Vasquez's from like Aliens. If you're gonna be a female hero, you also got to be kind of manly, and I always thought that was kind of weird. Um, but the issue is when you have a feminine hero like Princess Peach who beats ass, or the K-pop Demon Slayer or Demon Hunter chicks. Um, you are upsetting the gender roles. And I remember telling Shigeru Miyamoto, modern day, yeah, because it's modern day, you can't just have a guy rescuing a princess because women don't like being objectified into trophies. Um, and I explained that Peach herself kind of had to be a badass, and I actually viewed Nintendo and Ocarina of Time being the first video game where a female princess of feminine energy um kind of takes on a rather masculine role for a princess. She ends up hitting Ganon with a beam of light. Also, she dresses up like Sheik and pretends to be a man. Um, Zelda is kind of the first, in my opinion, in OOT. She's the first feminine um, girl boss in 3D gaming, at least. Maybe there are others. Like, you could argue Samus is one of the first female girl bosses, I guess. Um, and yeah. So the movie's disjointed and probably an ADHD wonder movie. I'm pretty sure anybody with ADHD probably loved the movie because it just goes and goes and goes. It introduces a bunch of characters, anything from Game and Watch to Rob to Fox McCloud to even Pigman. If you pay close attention, you can even watch the Pigman steal stuff later in the movie. Um, and this is important for world building. And this is kind of the Bobby dictionary of how movies should go. Yeah. Uh, this is why, once again, I'm not a writer, and you should probably, when I come up with an idea, it's better to add the idea to an existing storyboard, which is why the Mario Galaxy movie comes off as disjointed, as opposed to just run with the idea. Okay. Um, the flying castle thing that's like spinning and shit kind of reminded me of the Transformers 1980s movie with the Junkticon ship that's like whirling. Uh, and I remember telling Miyamoto that I really liked those ships, and he put those in the movie. Now, Miyamoto himself likes riding motorcycles, and I like Mad Max, and that's why the opening of the movie is kind of like Mad Max. Yeah, fun fact. Um, I did design, dude, I just told him a whole bunch of crazy, crazy things. But it's the Galaxy movie, so they go everywhere, even leaving Luigi and Mario in charge of the castle, and Peach leaves, and then everything falls apart because Mario and Luigi aren't rulers, they're servants or knights or whatever. They don't know how to run a kingdom. The movie, in my opinion, was actually really good. It's definitely going to be that movie you put on when you have a bunch of kids over and your kid's like having a birthday. That's the movie you're going to want to have on sitting in the living room for all the kids, for sure. The If Nintendo plays their cards right, and they do all these movies in the right way, they probably are going to be making billions of dollars. They're going to probably be in the next biggest thing stateside, especially if they stick with the girl boss kind of function. And that goes for the Zelda game or movie that's coming out too. You're going to want to stick to a girl boss function in these movies. Where the female protagonist is the girl boss. Once again, the Barbie movie got shit canned because Christian values. They don't like the idea of powerful women. Now, I guess on to myself, because this isn't just a Mario Galaxy rant. I would recommend going to watch the movie personally. There's a lot that happens in it, but it is a non-stop thrill ride. It's almost exhausting to watch, but it opens the universe, and that's what's important. And I'm pretty sure there's a better way of universe expanding in movies where you could probably make it more coherent and subtle. The introduction of Fox McCloud was a good move. The introduction of Daisy at the end of it was probably one of the best moves. If Nintendo does do a Daisy movie, she's a very feisty and aggressive kind of character. At least that's how fans see her. And I would recommend, instead of using the Bowsers again as the villains, even though they are the ipso de facto villains of Mario, that they make Daisy's messiness the villain of the movie. Not that Daisy's evil, but that she's a very feisty and I don't know how you explain it. Reckless endangerment, I guess. I don't know. So, one of the other things I was thinking about was when I initially reported this church, my brother, after we watched the Mario movie, he was telling me he had an existential crisis where everybody was worshiping and thanking Trump for saving those guys that were down in Iran. And everybody thinks he's a hero when he's a pedophile and he's a rapist. And, dude, I'm the guy that reported the second largest human trafficking ring. And honestly, they're all pedophiles and rapists. And in my opinion, just like my brother says, none of these people are worthy of worship. But here's the thing. There's even people that we see as good people that are actually just pedophiles and rapists. When I initially reported this church, this is a fact. I used to watch speedrunners, and a bunch of the speedrunners that speedrun games are actually malignant, narcissistic, child-raping, pedophiles, serial killers that commit every atrocity known to man. Yeah. Speedrunning, the catch-all. And it was kind of funny because when I was fucked up, when Blondie was poisoning me with heavy metals and my brain was degrading, I really couldn't think of anything else. And when your brain is degrading, it seeks nostalgia. And the reason why your brain, there's the theory behind nostalgia is your brain is remembering when it was fully functional and when it was healthy. So I was watching speedruns because my brain remembered, it was giving my brain dopamine from when it was happy. I was also beating off a lot because something about heavy metal poisoning. One, you don't want to beat off a lot, but it's the only way you get dopamine. So as my brain was degrading sitting in my room, I kept wishing that these speedrunners would come back so I could watch them play. Now I can't stand them. Whenever I get recommended them in my YouTube feed, I just completely fucking ignore them. I don't want anything to do with these people. I don't want to support them in any way, shape, or form. Because they're disgusting human beings, in my opinion. And it was funny because the one speedrunner I used to tune in for actually gave me a call to threaten to kill me. I'm not going to say their name, but I was like, yeah, I've been waiting for that guy to come back. I'm glad he's finally back. And the same thing happened with Plunder Bunny, because Plunder Bunny left YouTube after she got out of the relationship with her malignant, narcissistic fucking boyfriend and all that jazz. Because these women don't want to do these things. They have their own lives and interests and shit they would rather be doing. And that's how toxic this church is, by the way. It's just toxic fucking everything. Toxic everything. But you're not going to explain that to a Stockholm Syndrome loser that's a member of this church. To them, it's the good thing. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Yeah. When I think about it, I've been diarying a lot about cowardice, fear, and anxiety, and how I could still impact the world, just not as great as it was. And one of the things I realize I have to accept is when Annalene and Mummy God set me up for this, they kind of expected me to chelate a little bit and then straight to the courtroom. Straight to the courtroom. They thought I was just going to complete the task, whoop-de-doo, but that's not how a traumatized brain works. Either he didn't know that or he didn't care. Ty from Gears of War. He's either the second or third game. You run into a guy named Ty. He gets captured. They torture him, and then later Marcus Phoenix gives him a shotgun, and Ty blows his own head off. That is a trauma response. He was free, he could have gone home, he could have gotten counseling, he chose to blow his head off. That is what trauma looks like. And in my opinion, I remember a bunch of people said that was very controversial in the game. No, it's not controversial in the game, because that's what happens when you just torture people nonstop. I remember Blondie kept trying to get me to future project or something, and I kept telling him about this Western movie with Nicolas Cage where this guy gets shot in the brain and Nicolas Cage's character walks around him screaming at him to shoot him, and the guy's like, "Argh!" and he's trying to grab his gun, and he's trying to, but he can't because his brain is destroyed. And because his brain is destroyed, he can't grab his gun and shoot Nicolas Cage. So Nicolas Cage is just screaming at him, "Come on, do it." And the guy's brain is dying as he's trying to grab his gun. He's kind of like Glenn in Walking Dead. And then he falls over dead. He wasn't a good person, so when he dies horribly, nobody really cares. But I kept telling Blondie that was the scene I was seeing. Except it was me standing there with the bullet in my head and my body shaking and me trying to do something but being completely incapable of doing it. And Blondie got horrified. He didn't like what I was telling him. But I think what my brain was projecting, if it was projecting the future of any kind, it was projecting the fact that I was way far too traumatized to make rational, intelligent, or good decisions. Furthermore, everything these people did that was pseudo-helping but not helping, I guess this is something, these people were really bad at helping people. They do not practice helping people. So it only makes sense that when they help you, they fuck it up. Because it's a skill they don't practice. They're not good at it. And that explains why, like, even the stupid dude, even now, I still get Frederick Nietzsche videos from Blondie. Because one of the things Blondie went on about was when I reported the church, Frederick Nietzsche is the most important guy and he loves Frederick. Blondie loves Frederick Nietzsche because Blondie's blonde-haired and blue-eyed, and fucking Frederick Nietzsche loved those dirty crackers. Okay. That is why he's the best. Outside of that, Frederick Nietzsche is doublespeak nihilism for dumbasses. There's nothing great about him, and he should never be taught to anybody ever, under any circumstances, for any reasons. He should be banned as an extremist leader. That is what Friedrich Nietzsche is. He is a book that leads into extremism. Yeah. My ego itself remembers everything in kind of a sad form, in a deep lamenting kind of like we got poisoned. Basically, everything just kept getting worse. People kept hurting us. Our own family started betraying us. Our friends started betraying us. Everybody started working against us. Everybody hated us. Everybody just wanted to kill us. People wished we were dead. People kept wanting to murder us. Even people who believed what we did were good still wanted us dead. And that is what my ego remembers. And it's sad listening to it as I'm doing my ego journals. Because all it goes on about is how we did a good thing and then everybody just wanted to hurt us. And it believes if we ever do anything like that ever again, the only thing that is going to happen is everybody is going to want to hurt us a second time. And it believes by stopping me, it is keeping me safe from a future it already experienced. And that shit is kind of like hardwired into it. And I was like discussing it with it. And it's like, no, they're lying. They just want to kill us. They want you to give them an excuse to send people out or whatever they did to my brother, whatever they did to my sister, whatever they did to my mom to start poisoning me again and hurting me again. And my brain doesn't want to get hurt again. It didn't like having heavy metals, and it didn't like having heavy metals when I was church. When I was the president and these people told me that they had been poisoning me with heavy metals, my brain had such a fucking reaction. My ego had such a fucking reaction. It was so fucking pissed. And then the wires were like, we're not going to help you, which whatever, it's that ego, traumatized ego shit with the church leaders. I'll do it myself! You think like a fucking 2-year-old and you need a bullet in the head. And once again, if it was me, I would just force these church leaders. They can go live on a fucking island by themselves. If they want to build society themselves, they can do it with their own 2 hands. Okay? Fucking, you go to an island and fucking build a microchip, you fucking asshole. No, you can't have the internet. No, you're not allowed to have any of those things. You gotta come up with it yourself. You fucking loser. Whatever, man. I can, whatever. I get, they're stupid. The end of it is they're stupid. Yeah. So, yeah. And as I discussed the things with my brain, there is a deep sense of lament over what happened. And I would argue this is exactly Pavlov dog syndrome, where even if you do something good, everybody just tries to murder you. Like, and my brain and my ego, that's how it views it. That's how it doesn't care about any of the logic of the situation. It doesn't care about any everything else is nuanced. It is all just, oh God, oh, you want to do that again? Do you not remember? No, I remember. Do you not remember the belly girl getting killed? Do you not remember Rain getting killed? Do you not remember all the people these people murdered? How fucking crazy they are? They're fucking insane, and you want to go do it again? Like, whatever, man. That is what trauma looks like. Trauma is not rational. It is not something that you just walk through. Dear God, like everybody on the fucking internet. It's almost, dude, it makes me wonder is if these people are so disassociative, and they are dissociative identity disorder, that they themselves don't even know how to deal with their own trauma. If you were to sit down and actually give them real trauma therapy, you would quickly see how well they can't handle it. And that's why it's all repress. Even my cuddle buddy used to go on about repressing her trauma and how, like, she was like a physical thing she had to do. Repress. And that's what happens when you're a part of a disgusting cult. You're mentally unhealthy, but you learn how to cover it up and then pretend you're healthy and then tell people the cult's good. Look at me, I'm totally normal, when you're not. You're the furthest thing from normal you could possibly be.